your boss isn't the one in control of your income. Your boss is at a low paying job is just a reflection of your mindset. And when before this podcast, I said there was a lot of chapters in the book that are going to be really hard for people to read because it's going to address a lot of those beliefs that they haven't overcome. And belief drives behavior in the world. So if you believe that you're never going to be able to find a job that allows you to create income, you're not going to find those opportunities nor seek out those opportunities. And one of the things that I think is a great way to segue into is that poor people buy stuff and rich people own time. You guys speak about that in the book. I love that perspective. Why is that the kind of approach that you think is beneficial for most people?
Yeah, I think most people that know me, I feel like I gained over 1 million followers. It felt like overnight when I was living in a van and documenting van life. And before van life became cool, I was kind of doing it right at that moment. And then all of a sudden, van life was this trendy thing during the pandemic. But I would share. Before that, I've been sharing my journey since 2010 when I posted my first YouTube video. Side quest, I used to be a pro hip hop dancer for T-Pain. And so my first content was just teaching people how to dance a robot. And then fast forward that journey to the pandemic, I had gotten really obsessed with this game of making money online. And I documented since my first ever AdSense payment of 42 cents. But then all the way up to in van life, I was making like $100,000 in a month. And I would share that. But then I would also share I live in the van. And so people would see these two things which seem completely opposite, and they would say, there's no way this guy's legit. Fraud, scammer, imposter. What kind of millionaire chooses to live in a van? And I learned a lot through the comments and the controversy and how viral my videos were going, that when people think of rich or wealth, they think objects. And as a extreme minimalist back then, I think we don't own any object, that objects own us. And so naturally, of course, people want to fantasize. You may have a wallpaper background on your phone that's a Lamborghini. All right. I think a Lamborghini is a really cool car. And if you want to get a Lamborghini, this is the difference between having a poor mindset approach and a rich mindset. Poor people, poor mindset is to think of, okay, I make let's say X amount of dollars an hour. How many hours do I need to work to eventually buy that Lamborghini? That's not what wealthy people think. Wealthy people, if they want to get the Lamborghini, they say, what kind of investment can I invest in? And that investment's going to pay me an income, and then I can buy the Lamborghini. And that's the huge difference. Wealthy people are not trading their time. They're making an investment, and they're buying through their passive income. Whereas a poor mindset, you're trading your time. So this is why another chapter we talk a lot of crap on people that have designer brands, because most people that have designer brands are not financially free. And so when you see someone rocking a Rolex or Louis Vuitton, your first thought shouldn't be, wow, that person's rich. Your first thought is like, wow, I wonder how much time that person traded to get that. Because that, like, when I see a shirt or a purse, I don't think in terms of, well, that's expensive, that's $5,000. I think, oh, that person spent 100 hours of their life to get that. Whereas a true wealthy person, that, it's okay to have nice things, but they're doing it in a smart way. But here's the tough part. Rich is what you see, but wealth is what you don't see. It's hidden, it's secret. And so this is why we have imposters, this is why we have fake gurus, is because the person rocking the Louis Vuitton, we actually don't know if that person bought it through because they have, for like their dividends from their investments are paying for it, or it's someone that's maxing out their credit cards. The only thing I would say is, because we don't know, I wouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt. And that's just based on the average stats of Americans who don't have a lack of retirement savings, who have so much credit card debt, college debt. Like, everyone's in debt in America. So when you see someone rocking something nice, it's a very slim chance that person has actually bought it the wealthy way, and they're just they traded their time for it.
Yeah, it is an overcompensation. The older I get, the less I want anything covered on me. I want, like, as blank as I can be, because I've realized that. Something in the book that I was really surprised by. I love to know the psychology behind this. That studies show that people that have money are known to tell you that they have less, and the inverse is this true for those that don't. I found that fascinating, which I find myself when I'm surrounding myself with people that are maybe in a less financially secure situation than I am. I'm always the one that just, like, I try not to even jump into that conversation. So I'm curious why that is.
Yeah, so this actually comes out of research we've done on beliefs around money. And we found a couple patterns of beliefs around money. And by the way, these aren't opinions, but I'm totally willing to change my opinion immediately if the research shows something different. So, and you got to remember, I grew up poor. I was only interested in the truth because I wanted to become wealthy. So I literally studied. Then I became an adult, a psychologist, a researcher, a professor. I literally tried to study, what are these mindset differences, right? So most millionaires are self-made, right? First of all, that's fabulous news, right? So fabulous news. You don't have to be born rich. Most people are self-made, but they think very differently. What are these beliefs that where people come from the exact same neighborhood, the exact same situation, broken home, low income, yet one person climbs the socioeconomic ladder, the other person doesn't. Aren't you curious to know what their beliefs are? I was. And so what we found is that the people who we call it money status beliefs. Okay, now these are people who are more likely to come from a poor home, like me, by the way, and I fell into these. And they are much more likely to tell you they make more than they do. They're much more likely to flash an expensive watch, labels, because they want to show you that they're worth something. Like there's some low self-esteem that comes with being poor because you realize other people have more than you. And so when I first got, I had $100,000 in debt coming out of school, got my first paycheck, I'm making six figures. I went out and bought a fancy watch. I went out and bought gold jewelry for my mom. I thought this is what people did. And then I quickly found, as I did the research, actually it's the opposite. And so most self-made millionaires are money vigilant. And in our studies, they're actually more likely to downplay how much money they have. So get that. So Adrian's right on point. When you see somebody flashing, luxury brands on social media, statistically speaking, it's a dead giveaway that they're broke. Okay. And if they're not broke, you might say, no, that kid's got a lot of money or they won the lottery. They're about to be broke. A lot of these examples that people show about these celebrities and their lavish spending, there are countless examples of how they all go broke. Countless examples. And so when I see that on social media, I'm either like, this person is broke and insecure. Well, clearly they're insecure. Like, why else are they trying to flash this? I mean, that's a given. 99% chance they're broke, or they're on the pathway to blowing through all their money and being broke. So when I see that on social media, I do not feel low self-esteem, and neither should you. You should immediately shake your head. By the way, I've already trained my 11-year-old to shake your head and go, oh, what a pathetic idiot, and look, I'm not trying to be judgmental. I actually feel sorry for them and I want to help them because they clearly have a poor mindset. That should be the mindset when you see that on social media.